name's Lisa O'Sullivan and I'm a psychology student at the University of New England. I'm going to talk to you about excoriation or chronic skin disorder and behaviour modification principles that we can apply to help you overcome this. So, have you ever found yourself scratching or picking or mindlessly itching at your skin to the point that it causes an open sore or bleeding or scarring even? Well, chances are you most likely have excoriation disorder. Now, it actually is a mental illness and it's related to obsessive compulsive disorder. So, let's be honest, we've all picked a pimple, right? However, when the squeezing or picking, pulling, lancing, or even biting damaged or healthy skin on various parts of the face or body is happening chronically and recurrently, I think we can all agree it's a bit of a problem. And this problem can affect people's overall quality of life and their physical health. People may experience psychological issues in terms of feelings of anxiety, shame, guilt, and embarrassment about their skin picking disorder. And physically, it can lead to things like chronic impetigo problems, even boils, and irreversible scarring on the skin. Now, the good news is you're not alone, okay? This disorder, excoriation, affects 1.4% of the entire population worldwide. And 75% of those are females. So, not only are you not alone, there are things we can do in terms of behavior modification and applying those principles that can help cure you of this problem. Tell me, Michelle, what brings you in to see me today? Thanks, Lisa. Well, I wanted to talk to you about my problem with constantly scratching and picking at my skin. I can see how that would be distressing for you. Do you know what might be an antecedent for this skin picking behavior? I guess I've never really thought about it before, but I don't really like having blemishes on my skin. So I guess I try and get rid of them by picking them, but then I end up making them worse and then have to cover them with a lot of makeup, which is not ideal because we all know we need to let our skin breathe. Or sometimes I even have to cover it with like band-aids or bandages. But now you mention it, I think when I get stressed out, particularly during assessment time or exam time at university for behavior modification, I do notice that I start to mindlessly, or I guess subconsciously, pick at my skin, and they do tend to get worse. Interesting. Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because that's right. Skin picking disorder can be the result of perfectionism, wanting to self-groom and remove any blemishes so that you get clear skin. It can also develop during times of stress. And the picking of the skin actually provides relief and releases some endorphins into the body to soothe the pain. And also it can become a habit, like you mentioned, something that we do when we're bored, perhaps watching television and not really consciously thinking about what we're doing. Yes, Lisa, 100% agree. It definitely has become a habit and I just don't know how to break it. Please tell me there's something that we can do. Okay, I'm going to talk through 5 techniques that we're going to utilize. Firstly, we're going to look at differential reinforcement of alternative behavior. Secondly, we're going to talk about self-awareness and self-management. Thirdly, we're going to look at behavioral contracting with yourself regarding the behavior. Fourthly, we're going to look at habit reversal therapy. And lastly, we're going to talk about mindfulness, meditation, and breathing relaxation techniques. How does that sound? That sounds great, Lisa. Please tell me more. So Michelle, okay, we've uncovered and identified that the target behavior is any time that you involve yourself in chronic skin picking and recurrent skin picking to the point that you end up with open sores. Now that we've identified that, what we're going to use is differential reinforcement of alternative behavior. When you feel those antecedents of perfectionism arising, rather than picking at your skin, what you're going to do is to apply a soothing face mask rather than picking. So the positive reinforcer is, rather than having open blemished skin, you're going to have cool, soft and moisturized skin after applying the soothing face mask. Talk about self-monitoring and self-management tools. Now, at the end of the day, this is all up to you. It is your habit that we are trying to break. Okay, so what you're going to do is engage in goal setting. Every week or every day, you're going to set yourself some homework around your goals that you believe are achievable with regards to your skin picking disorder. It may be, this week I'm going to not pick the skin on my face. Next week I may choose not to pick the skin on my body. Or perhaps it's around the frequency or intensity or the duration of your skin picking. And what I want you to do is think about a reward that if you achieve those goals, you get that. Something that's important to you that will make you feel as though you successfully achieved your goal. Secondly, I want you to download an app. It's called Coach Me, and it's a habit tracker. So it's a bit of fun, and it's something that you can do to kind of track your progress during the day. And it will help you know where you've had good streaks of not picking your skin, and help you track where perhaps you didn't have a good streak, but you can look back and be encouraged that, you did have previous good streaks and you will get there again. Number 3 is a behavioral contract. Now, you're going to write this with yourself. It's your contract and your agreement to yourself to empower you and to hold you accountable that you're not going to engage in the skin picking behavior, and you will have a reward at the end of it. My suggestion is you use a close friend and or partner to hold you accountable, and you will both sign it in a unilateral behavioral contract, and your reward is something fun that you can do at the end that's important to you. Maybe it's a dinner out, wearing a low neckline because you know what? You won't have any blemishes. Right, habit reversal therapy. Now, when you're feeling any of these antecedents like anxiety or frustration or boredom or stress or perfectionism, what you're going to do is engage in a competing response for at least a minute. So my recommendation to you is, when you're feeling the urge to pick, you pick up a pencil and you do some drawing, or perhaps you do some typing on the computer instead for your university work. Another trick is to wear gloves whilst you're driving, and also perhaps when you're at home doing your university work as well. Now, the idea of this is to increase your urge tolerance. Finally, mindfulness for emotional regulation. So we all know that mindfulness and being aware of our thoughts and our feelings and our behaviors can help us to regulate our response. So my recommendation to you is, by applying mindfulness and breathing relaxation techniques, and perhaps even meditation when we're feeling those negative thoughts that arise, or irrational thoughts around stress and anxiety and perfectionism, we stop strengthening that muscle in our brain by skin picking, and we start retraining and firing the connections and the synapses to a positive pathway, which is, I understand that these feelings are a part of human experience, but I'm not going to engage in the skin picking behavior. Instead, I'm going to sit down calmly. I'm going to relax all the muscles in my body. I'm going to focus on positive thoughts, and that I can get over this. Thank you for listening to my 5 behavior modification principles on how to eliminate excoriation disorder.